Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny.
My name's Matt.
Welcome back to Chapter 2 of the Season 7 recap.
You remember.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to discuss some listener emails and play some voicemails. I always enjoyed this episode because we can really let our hair down and be more casual and, make bigger mistakes, sound like bigger idiots.
Contempo casual.
Yes. Over the past couple of days, I kind of organized a bunch of emails and voicemails into different sections. We're going to kind of kick it off with some more general random questions, and then we're going to go into questions about Susan Ross, and then, individual episodes from Season 7, and then we're going to come back to some more general random type questions. So that's the idea. I doubt it will sound that organized, but let's kick it off from Sarah Whiteford here. She sent us two great questions, and I'll have you answer first, Vinny, since I like putting you on the spot. Mm-hmm. If you could have been on the set for the taping of any Seinfeld episode, which one would you have liked to see live? And before
live?
Before you answer that, Vinny, I kind of have a theory that the episodes from, seasons 1 to 4 would have been more fun to see live than the later ones. Mm-hmm. Only because, as the show got bigger, there were more sets, and I don't think they necessarily filmed those scenes in front of an audience. Okay. So
you want more bang for your buck. You want to witness all the scenes in person.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple that come to mind, after reading this question. The first one would be the contest, solely because that's regarded as one of the best episodes of all time. Mm-hmm. So to see that unfold in front of my eyes would be really cool. This might be a polarizing choice, but I feel like the finale might also be a good one too. Just to see Jerry to stand up in his prison getup, and then also if you could witness the courtroom scenes, you would see all of these, same way the idea, the way Larry David had it, you could see all these characters who've appeared on the show over the years, kind of like a This Is Your Life, Seinfeld style. So you see the Soup Nazi, you see Babu, you see Putty, you see everybody that you've come to love while watching the series. So as much as the episodes among the weaker ones regarded by Seinfeld fans, I feel like it'd be cool to witness it, to see all those actors.
Yeah, I wonder if that finale was filmed in front of an audience or if that was like a closed set, since it was so
hard
secretive.
To tell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Damn.
But it'd be kind of cool, though, if there were an audience to be there on a day like that.
And on that same coin, I feel like witnessing the pilot from season 4 might be cool too, because you might be able to sit in the bleachers. You might get on set, or might get on screen rather. You'd see Joe Davola hop over the railing. You see Russell Dalrymple,
Wilton Marshall,
Cam Tioga. So those would be my 3 picks.
I'm thinking like a big episode would have been the marine biologist, if only for that last moment, that monologue at the end.
If you think about it, the actors have referenced these, the final blow or the best blow of the series, and that's one of them, that reveal. Then there's also Elaine, the panties your mother laid out for me.
Oh yeah, that's a good moment.
Got such a kick out of being behind that door, hearing the audience howl. So maybe to be present for one of those moments would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one. And it mainly takes place in Jerry's apartment. One of my favorites, The Alternate Side, with, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, very classic.
With the exception, I think, of the, the car rental place. I think it's pretty much all in Jerry's apartment.
Mm-hmm. So, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. One other one comes to mind would be the puffy shirt, solely so that I can sit next to the woman who goes, "Oh my God!" and I'll tell her to shut up.
Oh, boy. Well, another question here from Sarah. If you were to make a spin-off centered around one of the Seinfeld aliases, like Art Vandelay, Kel Varnson, etc., which one would you choose, and what would be the title of the show?
Yeah, these are some brain busters that she's given us.
Who else do we have, like aliases? There's
we got Paloma, Nurse Paloma. That'd be like a spinoff of Nurse Jackie. And then you have H.E. Pennypacker, Martin Van Nostrand.
And oh, here you go. Instead of House, it would be called Nostrand.
Now we're talking. Oh, Nostrand MD. I feel like you got to go something Kramer. So I would go with H.E. Pennypacker, and I like that he has so many. I don't want to say aliases, but industrialist, philanthropist, bicyclist.
Yes.
So I feel like you'd got to get a lot of meat out of that bone, and
Oh,
plus
for sure.
to see Kramer get tangled up in a bicycle or tangled up while trying to donate money to charity, falling out the stage. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff there.
Oh, for sure. They should do like a Michael Richards show or something like that.
Yeah, like where he plays a variety of characters. That'd be a good idea, right?
I'm gonna lean more towards like a Vandelay Industries episode or TV show, and I don't think George would be Art Vandelay. He would work for Art Vandelay, and it wouldn't be an
The
architect.
judge?
No, it would be the latex industry. And I think it would be modeled after The Office, so kind of like that fake documentary style.
All right, I like that.
And this doesn't make any sense, but it would be called Beat the Clock because that like ties into the condoms and
Right on.
like you
I
want
gotcha.
to, I don't know, get out of work.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, my H.E. Pennypacker series would be titled Machu Picchu.
Okay, there you go.
Are these free?
All right, let's move over to another email here from Kevin Harbuck. He wrote in to talk about that, he's showing his kids Seinfeld. He's trying to get them into the show. They're ages 8 to 14, but he's a little concerned that some episodes aren't very kid-friendly, like The Contest or the Mango or anything with, Penthouse in it. So just wondering what would be like a good episode to maybe get kids into, accessible, not as raunchy or whatnot.
Man, I'm looking through this list here. Well, first of all, Kevin, kudos to you for wanting to introduce your children to a wonderful show, part of popular culture.
Well, were you about that age when you started watching?
Yeah, I think I was about 7 or 8 when I started kind of just, sitting down with my parents while they were watching this show about New Yorkers. And I'm like, what's this about? But again, I was so young, I didn't get all this innuendo and these sexual jokes. I just liked the goofy guy, falling through the door and then, things like that. But I'm looking through this list here. If I'm looking the early seasons, 1 through 4, definitely the more realistic, more adult, and there is, suggestive matter. It's not totally in your face, but
there's something about those later episodes, though, like 7, 8, and 9, that I think kids would get more of a kick out of.
Yeah, because there's probably more physical comedy, and it's a little more broad. I'm looking here. I think the movie might be a good good pick because that's just them trying to get to a movie, and there's good jokes there. The Junior Mint would be kind of fun because there's nothing suggestive about that one. It's just a hilarious premise that this mint flips into this dude's abdominal cavity.
It is so funny, like what different people think is appropriate for kids. Like talking about sex, no, but candy in an open wound, that's all right.
Yeah, puffy shirt would probably be a good one. What else you got?
I'm looking at the later episodes here. What about ones like the Little Jerry?
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. The Pothole, like that Phil Rizzuto shooting out of the.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that guy.
What else we got here? Oh, the butter shave. Kramer's head on a turkey.
He is a big fat turkey. What else you got here?
But
Fire has some physical comedy. George running, getting
pushing
attacked
children.
by a clown.
Yeah. Let's show them episodes that just center around kids. So you got George pushing kids out of the way for Fire. What other kids are on the show?
He gets into it with that kid at the parking garage. You're ugly.
Oh, Matthew. He's a funny.
Oh, you just spit on me. Yeah, he's a quality kid. And then there's little Joey Zamfino.
Oh, right. Yeah, he has a great arc. Being chased by a grown man, getting beat up by an old man.
Gets his revenge. Let's see.
But yeah, I would recommend sticking with those later episodes. Anything like that Kramer features heavily into.
Yeah, introduce them to the latter part. So what we're going to be discussing in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they get older, a little wiser, probably introduce them to the earlier stuff.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And, on that topic of like episodes from 7, 8, and 9, we have a voicemail here from listener Forrest, who has a question about the tonal shift on Seinfeld.
Hi, Matt and Vinny. This is Forrest Wilson from Anchorage, Alaska. I'm just calling to let you know that my favorite episode from season 7 is definitely the rye. There's nothing like seeing Jerry take some rye bread from an old lady. And my least favorite episode is the doll. Oh my gosh, it's just horrifying. I'm sorry, you guys, but terrifying episode. I guess my question for your season 7 review is, what episode do you think represented the big tonal shift for Seinfeld heading into like season 8 and 9? At what point? So, yeah, if you guys could handle that, that'd be awesome. So excited for the season review. All right, have a great one. Bye.
So great to hear from you, Forrest. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Forrest, you have excellent taste in favorite shows. In least favorite shows, not so much, but that's okay. We still love you.
Mr. Pool Guy over here.
He's entitled. Shut up. He's entitled. I remember there was an episode we discussed previously where we said this seems like the pivoting point, and now I cannot remember for the life of me. So let me scroll through my handy dandy list here.
Was it in season 6?
I don't remember. I'm looking at the list here.
Well, if we're just gonna stick with season 7, I think the Soup Nazi.
Yeah, because he's kind of a larger than life character.
The gum. I'm sorry, the rye. With throwing the bread up in the air.
See, I don't see that as that out there.
Mm-hmm.
The caddy, the character of the caddy seems like a TV show character. It doesn't seem like a real guy they would know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, personally, if I'm sticking just with season 7, I will go with the rye just for that visual alone, but... And Rusty, farting. There's just...
Yeah, I wish
I can definitely tell you in season 8, it's the Bizarro Jerry when they all meet each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's just insane. In a good way, but...
Absolutely.
Season 7, yeah, I'm going with the rye. What is your pick from
My
season
pick
7?
for the tonal shifter in season 7... I'm looking at these episodes. I'm like, I could buy this. I could buy Elaine housing a Trinidadian in her house. I could buy a Soup Nazi. Is the caddy the introduction of Jackie Childs?
No, that's the Maestro.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm looking at this list of episodes from season 7, and it seems like such a gradual shift, even though it's much more apparent than that. So if I got to make a decision, I'll go with the caddy, just because I don't like that guy.
Well, that's something that I think Peter Melman brought up once. Like, it didn't sound like he was a fan of the caddy character. He's like, all right, now we're getting into this. Like, it's obvious we have this wacky character of the week,
Right.
we're going to bring in.
And he doesn't even do wacky things. It's very odd. He's just a tiny little man who's giving Kramer advice, but yet he's Stan the caddy.
All right, let's move on to another voicemail here. This is a short one from listener John.
Hey guys, this is John from South Carolina. Just calling to say I love the podcast and enjoy the work y'all do. I've been listening for so long that you guys are almost like friends to me. And so in that vein, I've given you nicknames. Vinny, I like to call you T-Bone, and I always refer to Matt as Coco the Monkey. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey.
John has excellent taste in doling out nicknames.
How come I'm Coco?
Because, I mean, look at you. Don't you like every time I greet you, you say ooh ooh ah ah?
Yes. I'm always talking to you about my gammy.
What did you say about my gammy?
Yeah, just like that voicemail. Thanks for calling in, John. And on that topic of of, feeling like you're friends with your podcast hosts, we can definitely relate to that. I mean,
absolutely.
We have our favorite podcasts, and if you're enjoying a show, you can really start connecting with the hosts, and it does feel like you're kind of with like your friends in a sense every week.
It really feels like you're, sitting at a poker table and you're kind of just, peering in on their conversation. Mm-hmm. You're not contributing to the conversation, but it's like, man, I could be hanging out with these guys any night of the week and it'd be seamless. So yeah. I know exactly what you're saying there, and that's truly a compliment. So thank you, John.
Oh, definitely. That's I think kind of like the compliment we strive for on this show. Just feeling like we could just be hanging out talking about Seinfeld. That's what we strive for here. So thanks for calling in, John. Let's move over to the topic of Susan Ross. Huge character in season 7. We have a few listener emails here about her. First one comes from Lauren. I think it's Lauren Abbas, maybe?
Sure.
What is our favorite George and Susan moment? Which is a tough question, because I know I said during the show this is my favorite moment, but I forgot.
Of course. Well,
I do like the stuff in The Sponge where she's like anytime Susan is calling George out for his BS.
Yeah.
You don't know what I use for birth control, do you? And he's like, yeah, use the Fleming. That's great. Or the secret code, I'll keep you apprised of my cycles. Anything else?
See, I want to remember something, wholesome about the relationship, but I'm just trying to think, when did they actually have a kind moment? And I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Yeah, you're not going to find any of those heartwarming moments on Seinfeld.
I'll say I'll pick 2. For heartfelt moments, I'll go with when they're in the coffee shop. Susan offers to buy him shoelaces, and George is kind of taken aback at like, oh, this is what you do in a couple.
Yeah.
And I think he's a little bit impressed by that. However, the next time they're in the same seating arrangement, he's like, they'll last me a while. Yeah. It comes kind of full circle. So I do like that. But one of the moments I also really enjoy is when they first get engaged and George is going to go to the movies with Jerry. George, you getting dressed? I am dressed. You wearing that shirt?
Yeah, it's a great moment. What am I thinking about? Also in The Sponge, when they're out to eat with Jerry and Lena.
Mm-hmm.
I just like their relationship there, and like just how annoyed Susan is with George.
Did we also enjoy? They're just coming to me now. We enjoy the Gatsby moment in what is that?
Oh, Friars Club.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So that's always fun.
That's kind of, I think, one of your shoelace moments.
Yeah,
I think that's in one of those.
They're few.
Mm-hmm. Another email here comes from Ryan Everett. After listening to the invitations, I remembered there's a scene in season 7 where Kramer and Susan interact. In the pool guy, Kramer and Susan are at Monk's sitting together before Jerry and Elaine arrive. Now, if you remember, Vinny,
right.
Maybe I made the mistake of saying they didn't have a scene together.
So we don't know what they were talking about, though, right? We just kind of enter Monk's and there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once Jerry and Elaine enter, what happens after that? Is that when I'm thinking of George would come in,
mm-hmm.
We'll pull up a chair.
Right.
Is that the same moment?
Yeah, it's right before Jerry sits down and he's like, this is going to be ugly.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
Okay. Boy, I'm ugly. Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, Kramer should, in a sense, know her name from season 7.
By now, yeah.
Another email here comes from Max Gardner from Vancouver. Oh, I'm so glad someone brought this up, and we actually got a few emails about this, but we're going to go with Max's here. When do you think Susan's appearance in The Betrayal took place? Now, in the invitations, I did say that this is the last time we're seeing her chronologically, but we will see Heidi Swedberg again in season 9, which is going to be great. If you remember, Vinny, the episode works backwards, and I think the second to last scene is maybe season 7, maybe season 4.
Yeah, because they kind of seem like they're in an ingrained relationship. They're on sure footing, and they almost seem like they're in a better place than they are in season 7. Because
what? I think it has to be season 7 because her hair is long.
It is long, yeah. But I mean, if I recall the encounter, it's French fries, George, baked potato,
right?
And you can stuff your sorries in a sack.
Mm-hmm.
What would have been really cool is if at some point in season 7, George had uttered that line, and then they could pay it off in the betrayal. But
Right.
so it would have to be season 7, right?
Yeah, and the fact that George and Susan seem to be so, how did you put it? Like, just so...
The relationship is like ingrained. I said sure footing.
Mm-hmm. So it makes me think that would be closer to the engagement itself.
Yeah, just like the day after the engagement is probably when Jerry dated Nina.
Right. Oh, man. That's going to be
pretty
great.
cool to think about, though.
Mm-hmm, for sure. All right, we're going to switch gears over to voicemails again, and this is from listener Jacob.
Hey, guys. This is Jacob. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, and just found the podcast and been listening to episodes rather feverishly. And Seinfeld is my favorite show of all time. It has, I love the content, but it has a lot of emotional bonds for me. I've watched it at key times of my life, and I just started rewatching it in earnest. And I was talking to a friend about it, and he called the show comfort food. It is like comfort food. And I'm at home with my son these days, who's just a few months old, so he sleeps a lot, and I find myself with a lot of time, and I found the Seinfeldia book. I found Seincast at the same time that I've been rewatching the show, so it's added a very rich layer for me, and I've got the time to listen to all the episodes these days, which is nice. So thanks, keep it up, and I've got my own little notes going, so I'll call back at some point, I'm sure, and point out all the things you've gotten wrong. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you for that, Jacob. I was just about to make a recommendation for an episode you can watch with your son, which would be The Hamptons.
Oh, yeah.
There's a cute, cuddly baby. But that's great. No, thank you very much for that voicemail.
Again, I think either Jacob or his friend said Seinfeld is like comfort food. I think that's
a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And you never get fat. It's non-fat.
Thanks for calling in, Jacob. Let's move over to some individual episode discussion here. And we're going to go all the way back to the 4th episode of Season 7, The Wink. We had an email here from Trevor from New Orleans, and he sent us a great doc with like his favorite moments. It was incredible. But I was happy to get this confirmation in the document. He says, you guys discussed whether Bobby, the little boy in the hospital in The Wink, who also played Porter in The Stand-In, we were wondering, could that be the same character as in The Maid when he thinks he was talking to his Gammy on the phone?
Okay.
You know, when Elaine gets like the new phone number and whatnot?
Yep.
Anyways, he went back and he checked the script for The Maid, and Elaine does refer to the little boy as Bobby.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's a theory that is the same character in all 3 episodes.
Okay, so he was a stand-in, or no, he was an actor on All My Children.
Bobby is, yeah.
Bobby. And then he got sick. He was in the hospital. He got out, and now he's living with his Gammy?
Or he was just, calling his Gammy.
Okay, that's right. Calling with.
And she died.
Okay. Did we suspect it was a double dipper, or did we just comment that? I don't remember now.
Well, I was blown away that he returned to lend his voice.
Right.
And I think you credited him as Bobby.
Okay.
But yeah,
I wasn't smart enough to put 2 and 2 together that it's the same character as Trevor did. That is really cool, though. I love when this is kind of connecting the dots here. But yeah, I buy it. Yeah. I'm sold.
It's great. That actor, I think he was in, like, most recently, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yeah.
And he's on Twitter, and he was nice enough to retweet that image, you know, like the Double Dipper image of him.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. It's kind of cool he's still in the game, you know.
Can we retract a tweet after it's already gone out?
Or just like confirm with him, like, were you playing the same character?
We're gonna need to take that down, Bobby.
Leave me alone. Next episode to discuss, the Soup Nazi. And no emails to read here. These are all voicemails. The first one comes from listener Mike.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Connecticut. Love the show. Looking forward to hearing the season 7 recap. I just wanted to follow up on the Soup Nazi episode. You guys talked about how Larry Thomas appeared on Arrested Development, and they kind of made reference to him being the actor who played the Soup Nazi. Not sure if you guys saw this, but he also did the same thing on the show Scrubs. He played the new boyfriend of one of Zach Braff's characters' ex-girlfriend, and throughout the episode, Zach Braff tries to get him to say "no soup for you," It's very funny. Also, incidentally, Scrubs has a lot of Seinfeld guest stars, I've noticed, as I've gone back and rewatched the show. Obviously, actor who played Ricky, Sam Lloyd, plays also another socially inept, creepy character on Scrubs. Krista Miller, who was in The Doodle, is a regular character. The janitor shows up as a cop on one of the later seasons, I think. And then, surprisingly, I didn't realize this until just a few days ago, Ramon shows up as a pediatrician in one of the later seasons. So another great show worth checking out for Seinfeld fans. All right, thanks, guys.
Wow, that's really cool. I got into Scrubs a couple years ago and binged it on Netflix, but I never finished the show.
Mm-hmm.
And for the life of me, I cannot remember that episode with Larry Thomas. So is that a later episode?
Well, I really wanted to play this too because I just started watching Scrubs a couple of weeks ago. I actually watched it during my trip to LA. Okay. I didn't get that far. There are a lot of episodes, but
yeah,
it's a great show, and
it really is.
I haven't gotten to the Larry Thomas episode, so I don't know when or how that went down. But I did notice a few people. First off, I forgot that Sam Lloyd is Christopher Lloyd's. What is he, brother, nephew? Something like that. But while watching the show, I did notice the actor who played Mike Moffat. Mm-hmm. I think he runs the radiology department, and he's screaming all the time. Of course, Betsy, Warden Betsy, she plays a patient in an early episode, as does Mr. Tuttle from The Barber.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was a real deep pull. I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. So maybe in addition to Austin Powers and Star Trek, Twilight Zone, we can go through Scrubs and find all of the Seinfeld actors.
That'd be something to look into, is which TV show, movie, has the most Seinfeld alums to appear.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of something to do some detective work on.
Well, so far, I mean, based on Larry Thomas, Krista Miller, Scrubs might be a pretty strong candidate.
Well, but we get a lot of those Star Trek posts, so and depending on how you want to lump those in together, that might be the coup
d'etat. All right, let's move on to another voicemail here. This is from listener Lorenzo.
Hi guys, big fan of the podcast. It's like sitting down with a couple of friends and talking Seinfeld. I can't think of anything I like more. My question is, do you have a favorite post Seinfeld show? I think there's been some really interesting ones. I liked watching Ellie and New Christine, and Bob Patterson was pretty cool. And so do you have a favorite, and what's your least favorite? And I'm not sure Duckman counts, because it was done concurrently with Seinfeld. So, just curious what you think.
Great question.
Yeah, I didn't know what he meant at first. I thought he meant Friends or Everybody Loves Raymond.
Scrubs.
But then so that is really good to think about which, of the main four, they won't have to do various things, which one we enjoyed the most. I did watching Ellie when it first came out, and then I stopped, or I think it got canceled. And I remember seeing Bob Patterson, but the one I remember sticking with was New Adventures of Old Christine, because I liked that she was kind of this, mom, divorced, trying to, get her life in order, taking care of kids. But I remember being a fun show to watch. What was the other one he said?
That came out in college. We were both very excited for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was this talk of the Seinfeld curse, that nobody could have a show, go up against Seinfeld, or at least have some success in a post-Seinfeld world. But hers went on for 5 or 6 seasons, so I was really happy that she was able to have some success with that. And then now, present day, we have Veep, which is a fantastic show. What about you? Do you have a favorite post-Seinfeld show?
Well, I liked what Lorenzo mentioned there, Duckman. It's not post-Seinfeld, but I do love that show. I think it's Jason Alexander's best work, really. TV-wise, yeah, next to Seinfeld. Oh, dude, Duckman is so good. But I never got to see Bob Patterson, or what was it, Listen Up? Was that one?
I think so.
Something like that. There is a I have a later email here to bring up. Maybe I can find it real quick because I would like to at least mention it. Yeah, here it is. It's from Carolyn here. She wrote in to ask if we have started watching the series that Jason Alexander is doing with his son. It's called Dinner with Dad. It's on Freeform, which is the old ABC Family. Have you heard about this show?
No.
I don't have many details about it, but for the most part, I think it's Jason and his son Gabe sitting at, going out to eat and just talking about life and working in Hollywood and stuff. I don't think it's scripted.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like it feels very Comedians in Cars when I hear about the premise, but just Dinner with Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Dinners with Dads.
So that could be a really interesting show to check out, especially post Seinfeld for Jason.
Yeah.
Speaking of the other cast member, Michael, did you ever watch the Michael Richards show when it was on?
I think I tried to watch an episode or two, and then I don't know why I stopped watching it. And then just in the past couple weeks, I was on YouTube and I found an episode, and it was rough. Yeah. It was tough to get through.
Yes.
And even, I saw there were guys, Tim Meadows was on it, and there were other actors that I recognized and liked, and I could not. It was not because you saw a young Michael Richards, he looked like Kramer, and I wanted him to be Kramer, and yet he was this other guy. So it sucks that he wasn't able to have success post Seinfeld, but I understand why people did not warm up to that show.
I think for the most part it was just too soon.
Yeah,
I think it came out in
98 or 99 or 2000.
Yeah, it was just a year after Seinfeld ended, and I wonder if it would have had a different impact if it was, I don't know, 3-4 years later.
But it was it was meant to be like a variety show, right?
No, it was a sitcom. He played a detective.
Yeah, okay, a private eye. Right?
Yeah, private eye, but he was basically Kramer, which I think was just, again, it was too hard for viewers to distinguish that from the Kramer character, and also I don't know really how funny it was, so.
Right. It was bad upon this rewatch. Sorry, but there was a role that I really enjoyed him in, even though it was a minor one. But in Problem Child 2, 1 or 2.
Well, I think it was 1.
1. You like smiley pies, kid? He had that real high and tight haircut and the bow tie, but he was very good in that.
Mm-hmm. But thanks for calling in, Mike and Lorenzo. Appreciate it. Also, Lorenzo did mention at the end of his voicemail that we didn't get to play that he has a podcast called the Lorenzo Commentaries. They're on iTunes, and it's on WMPG FM in Portland, Maine, if anyone is a listener up there.
He had one of those radio voices. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to another episode here, The Pool Guy. We got an email from Blake Solomon in New York City. Hey, Blake. We were in touch, actually, Vinny. I've brought him up before on the show. He's a friend of Sean's from college.
I remember Sean.
Yeah. Anyways, Blake wrote in that he likes the George and Kramer stuff in The Pool Guy, but not really the Jerry Ramone arc. And I think this is something we've brought up before. What are some episodes where you love everything except the titular storyline? This sounds familiar because I think we discussed this.
Sounds familiar, yes.
Because there are a lot of episodes that we love, maybe just one storyline, or we love all but one.
I'm going through the list here.
Oh, what about the we just mentioned it, but the caddy, I guess? I know you didn't like the caddy character, so that could be a good.
What else we got?
Good episode for you. I mean, you got the Sue Ellen Mishke, the O. Henry stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's really tricky, too, looking through the ep guide, is how much sometimes the title can really, unless it's a person, how much it really, filters through everyone's storyline.
True.
But I guess, most recently, the caddy might enter my top pick from season 7, at least.
Yeah, because we're not a huge fan of Stan the Caddy, but you got the introduction of Sue Ellen Mishke. Then there's the George storyline where he leaves his car at Yankee Stadium. It's got all the flyers and bird poop on it. So George is dead, call me back, which we love. That'd be a good one. Can I piggyback off you there?
Yeah, totally. It's funny. I was looking through the list. There's so many episodes where I love the main storyline, but I don't like the other stuff. Bottle Deposit, good example.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a tricky one.
Did you like anything about the wait out, or the whole episode was?
Oh yeah, that's also a reverse. No, that's a great example. Thank you. And the wait out affects Jerry, Elaine, and kind of George. That's a good example where I hate almost all of it except for the Kramer stuff.
Okay.
With the pants. But yeah, tough question. That's one we might have to think about for a while. Let's move over to the episode The Gum. This is kind of a correction, something that we got quite a few emails about over the past couple of months. This one is from listener Daniel. There's a sequence in that episode that I had trouble understanding. I didn't get it, and I think you actually didn't really understand it either. But Jerry says something to Elaine like, I know when we broke up, I was babbling incoherently for months. And Elaine says, well, I've got news for you. And he kind of stops drinking his water.
Oh, yeah.
And I never got that. Did you understand the joke there?
I thought it was, I got news for you, like, other people have also, had trouble getting over me after we broke up. I think that's what I recalled.
All of these listeners wrote in, and they're probably right, but they're like, hey, guys, here's what happened. And Daniel was nice enough to put it this way. I always took it as her saying that Jerry is still babbling incoherently, even years later. So she's ripping on Jerry a little bit there, like, you haven't stopped babbling incoherently.
Oh, okay. I got news for you. You're still babbling. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's what most listeners wrote in about. So
wow, that's amazing that we both missed on that, and then a lot of people pick up on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
What
are we missing?
I don't know. All right, let's pop over to the Rye, and we got a voicemail here from listener Adam, who is, I got to tell you guys, if anyone plays trivia in New York City, Adam is one of the top guys. He's very good.
Hey, Matt and Vinny, it's Adam calling from New York. Just calling in about the Rye episode this week, and one interesting thing I noticed is that Kramer originally says that he bought 50 cans of beefarino when he's eating it at the apartment. And that's the next day after George has dinner at the Rosses, I assume. And later that night, he's feeding that one can to Rusty. And he says, oh, eat up. I got 34 more cans. So does that mean that Kramer ate, 16 cans of beefaroni by himself? Or beefarino, excuse me. And I was just wondering what your guys' opinion was on that. So just a little something I picked up. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
That's what I love about Adam. His attention to detail. Maybe Kramer was running a Christian singles night,
The Jewish singles.
Well, this is before the Jewish one.
Oh, okay.
Started off with the Christians, and he went through 16 cans.
Maybe. Do you think, though, that Kramer ate them all himself? Like, maybe he has some incredible, digestive system?
Oh, here it is. Him and Newman got together. Newman ate 15 cans, and Kramer had the one.
I like Kramer, getting home, and there's Newman just spread out with all these cans around him. He's like, I made a mistake.
Quick, give me some Mellow Yellow. Good observation there, though.
Now, did they ever say in the episode that Rusty only ate one can?
No.
So is it possible that Rusty ate, do the math, 15 cans or so?
Because he said he really likes it, so it's conceivable that Rusty ate the majority of the cans.
Possible.
But I like to think Newman had a bunch, Kramer had a few, and then Rusty ate the rest to get to the 16.
Oh,
but I always miss those numbers. Anything number related in Seinfeld, I gloss over it.
That is really the worst kind of trivia too. What year did this happen, or how much did this cost?
Yeah.
But
go shovel.
All right, we have another set of emails here. This is about the Cadillac, and first one is from Aubrey Noller in Greenville, South Carolina. I was watching the Cadillac with my girlfriend last night, and she remarked how Morty's brand new, shiny car seemed so old and outdated by today's standards. So my question to you both, what objects references from Season 7, or from the whole series up to this point, make the show feel the most dated? Great question. It does happen on Seinfeld quite a bit to be like, oh yeah, this show is, almost 30 years old when you look at the pilot?
That's incredible. First thing that comes to mind would be the cell phones. We see them, later in season 9.
Mm-hmm.
But or car phones for that matter. You saw Jacopo had a cellular, or he had a mobile phone in his car, and it was one of those ones that was like the big brick, right?
Mm-hmm.
That had the phone with cord come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
The moment I can't stand still to this day is the Hammer Time reference.
Oh yes.
Oh,
because kids today would not know what that means.
Not at all. Yeah.
I think some of Elaine's older outfits from seasons 1 through 3. I think there's some shoulder pads in there. The frilly little suede jacket she's got.
I think the thing that throws me the most too is they're not references; it's just production value. Certain music on the show, like when Kramer walks out in the barber for the the auction.
Oh yes,
and the music's very much like dun, 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 dun. I don't know. It has this early '90s vibe to it. Also, whenever there is a shot of the what was it? I was watching The Trip recently, and you have like George Wendt back there, Corbin Burnson.
Oh yeah, who are these guys?
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad.
Well, I know them, but modern people don't know.
Sure. And I think when Jerry's on the Today Show, Bryant Gumbel, things like that to me.
Oh, that set the Tonight Show set, the Today Show set, very dated, and you can see the suits that they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
They got those big, broad, like that 90s look.
But none of this stuff really takes me out of the show, or
not at all,
or really annoys me the way Hammer Time does.
It's funny though, but if you look at like Mr. Pitt's office or Mr. Peterman, those seem still modern. Just like some swanky, apartment or office in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Those still feel like they would exist today.
Seeing Champagne Video, that's kind of dated now.
Yeah, any video store, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Even, I guess, jokes or things that involve a payphone, because how can you find a payphone anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any left in New York?
Yeah, there are a few, but usually they're used as bathrooms or.
And then a lot of the B-roll, the establishing shots for monks, or showing a Champagne Video. You see the cars drive by. You see the hairstyles and the outfits and the cars. Those tend to date the show, but again, that's the stock footage they had to collect back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's funny. Even in the earlier episodes, when they didn't have a lot of establishing shots of buildings, they used some other shows. Like B-roll, and those shows are from the 80s, so it looks really old. I think it's the shot in the I think it's the Revenge when they go to the bar where he drops the Mickey in his boss's drink. The outfits that people are wearing on the outside is so, oh man, it's like early 80s, like Cheers kind of era. But anyways, we got another set of emails here from listeners Andrew Kwatowski and Aaron McCracken. They brought up some really interesting connections from the Cadillac that I never picked up on. They thought it was funny that whenever Evelyn, hi Evelyn, hello Jerry, whenever she comes in to talk with the Seinfelds, the two things she mentions are senior citizen callbacks to previous things that happened with the gang. Whenever she states that Saul Brandis is voting to impeach mainly due to the fact that Morty didn't thank him for an aisle seat, is just like the face painter when Jerry didn't thank Alec Berg for the tickets.
I like these two guys already. This is a brilliant observation.
Good stuff. And then also, when the Seinfelds aren't invited to the Lichtenberg's party, and Evelyn says that I'll see you there. And they're like, we weren't invited. That's a decent callback to whenever Jerry told Joe Davola he would see him at Kramer's party. And he's like, Kramer's having a party?
Right. And then you see Morty and Helen grab their foreheads and look off into the distance.
Do they?
No, I'm not.
I'm like, that'd be awesome.
Then you see Morty yelling "Sic Semper Tyrannis,"
putting on face paint
at the Lichtenberg.
Or clown. Oh, hey, face paint, clown. All right.
El Clowno.
But
yeah, that's wonderful.
Great notes there from Andrew and Aaron. I really like those, and I'm ashamed we did not bring them up at the time.
Yeah. We have discussed, though, there's examples that the Seinfelds or the Costanzas, they are in situations or they say things that kind of passed down to the children in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they go through the same things, just like this example here. This was just one that we missed.
Right on. Well, let's move over to the shower head. We have a voicemail from listener Andrew.
This is Frank Costanza. Actually, this is Andrew from Massachusetts. I love your show and listen every week. Your discussion of the continuity error in the shower head with Kramer complaining about bats after saying that he takes bats and the wife got me wondering if you could discuss any similar errors that you can think of from the show. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I thought of George saying that he doesn't drink wine in the dinner party, but then drinking wine on multiple occasions, such as with his parents and the Rosses, and with Jerry and Celia. Anyway, thanks for putting out a great podcast every week, and giddy up.
I like how he pronounced Costanza correctly, the way Frank does it in the email. I know not only Kramer's usage of baths versus showers, but his undergarment seems to have gone back and forth, right?
That's right, yeah. He goes from
silk underwear to
tidy whities,
and then boxers, and then no underwear at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a continuity gaffe? Because he does, he recommends to Jerry, why don't you try silk underwear?
Yeah, a little too delightful. Mm-hmm. Also, Kramer has an issue with wallets. You know, wallets, and then he also has, change, or...
Yeah.
That might not really apply. Sorry. Scratch that. This isn't really a continuity error as much as it is just the writers deciding to pretend they never said this. But Jerry and George both mentioned siblings.
Yep.
Early on the show.
Do they each have sisters? Is that what it was?
Jerry has I think Jerry has a sister, and I think George has a brother. Because he's like, wait, my brother once impregnated a woman named Pauline. Or something.
Right.
You know, on the topic of continuity errors, we'll jump ahead a little bit here to the calzone briefly. Gavin wrote in saying, you discussed how the Cuban cigars from Todd Gack would not be a good wedding present for George, considering he gave away the cigars for Mr. Ross because they made him sick. You remember this, right, Vinny?
Yes.
There's another example of George smoking a cigar. However, if we go all the way back to the stock tip, George seems to be enjoying the cigar while, playing the big spender. So that's kind of continuity error too. George smokes cigars, he gets sick, then he...
Was it lit in Monks? Because they don't allow smoking.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just him holding it to be a badass?
Come on, Larry, you know me. Yeah, he looks so cocky in that scene. I think they show that in the clip show. Just like him laughing, holding the cigar.
Oh, I love that. The laugh, while the mouth's open with the cigar in it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, this is a minor continuity thing, but when we were at the dinner party and eating the black and white cookie, if you look at Jerry's hand and which side the vanilla is on and which side the chocolate's on, it changes from shot to shot. It flips back and forth. So they must have, done one take. He took a bite out. He took a bite. They did a take. And then they got him a different cookie. He took another bite and it was flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that. There's also the, where are my magic markers? Does that count as continuity? Or is that just...
Remind me of that scene.
what is it? Damn. Oh, when Jerry is storyboarding Deathblow, how he's going to shoot it. He's like, if I'm going to do this, I got to have control of the whole operation. And he says, where are my magic markers? And Kramer's already has them in his hand, and he throws them out of frame, and he goes, right here. And they go walk towards the kitchen. You were the one who noticed that.
When did I notice that?
It was you. You made this happen.
We haven't talked about that episode yet. I wonder, was this in college?
Am I thinking of something else? Can you pull up that scene right now?
I can't right now, but that sounds really interesting. I can't wait to get to that episode.
You were the one who found it.
I don't remember. I really don't. That's wild. Okay, well, let's see. When we get to that episode, we'll see if that happens. If not, we'll have to do some research and go
then
back
I'll have to apologize.
Shut up. All right, let's cut over to the doll. We have a voicemail here from listener Dan.
Hey, Matt and Vinny, this is Dan from Indianapolis. Hey, I was listening to this last week about Frank giving up right after meeting Giuseppe. That joke, I think, gets replayed later earlier. It's a callback from Schmoopy when he says the Bavarian pie cream joke. You go travel all the way to a distant land, and for a very specific goal, and then you find out that they're done or whatever, and they say the main part of the joke just gives up. So that's the way I took it. Want to share that with you guys. Great show. Love listening to it. Take care.
Did we ever correct ourselves? Because I think in the Soup Nazi, it's not that we didn't understand the joke. I just guess we didn't really clarify like what the joke is. Because I think a few listeners are in being like, you guys understand what the joke is, right? Like you go all this way and then you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I guess maybe I found it funny. But there was no like punchline. It was like,
sure.
Okay, obviously.
Sure.
But I absolutely agree. This is the exact same as what Frank does when he visits Carlo.
100%, yeah.
See, now that's funny.
Mm-hmm. I guess I was wrong. All right, let's move over to the Friars Club here. We have 2 voicemails here. First one is from listener Amanda.
Hi, guys. My name is Amanda, and I am an avid listener from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I was just listening to the new episode, The Friars Club, and I just picked up on a little bit of what seems like foreshadowing. When George says, I want to go back to when we were the Gatsbys, and Jerry says, I still don't know what that means. It kind of reminded me of in episode 8 of season 9, The Betrayal, when George continues to say, you can stuff your sorries in a sack, and Jerry just says, I still don't know what that means. And I thought it was just kind of a funny relation because Kramer was in a sack, the sorries were in a sack, everyone was in a sack, so that's kind of what that reminded me of. So, yeah, love the podcast, keep it up, and talk to you guys later.
So, Amanda, thank you for your voicemail. Did you know that Milwaukee is Algonquin for the good land?
I was not aware of that.
All right. We know how to party. Yeah, that's same delivery, same cadence. I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But she said Kramer was in a sack. Like
that's a good pull.
They saw a movie about sack lunch.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Yeah. And I didn't really pick up on that. I wonder sometimes, too, with those later episodes, if the writers, not that they're like conscious of doing this, but they're kind of pulling from like the Larry David era.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about it. I think they're, the second and third generation of Seinfeld writers. They are fans of the show. So, what do we reference? We reference things we love. We know, we find funny, and I'm sure that's what they do when writing these episodes.
For sure. But yeah, I thought that was
remember when Kramer did this, and then they'll just tweak it.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Now we have another voicemail here, and I don't think this is about the Friars Club, but since Amanda brought up the betrayal, I figured this could tie into our next voicemail here from Mr. Fry.
Goodbye. I was just wondering, how are you guys going to do the betrayal? Are you going to do it, the podcast betrayal, are you going to do it backwards, which is forwards, or forwards, which is backwards? I like the way it's done on television, but I have no idea how you would do the podcast. That is very tricky. So, if you can let us know somehow, and I think we'll be grateful. And my name is Mr. Fry, F-R-Y-E. So, hello.
I like this gentleman here.
I didn't get that at first, like goodbye, and then I thought it was
somebody else.
It sounds like a It sounds like a computer, like goodbye.
It sounds like the automated.
Yeah,
I have to call the insurance companies every day, and it's you have waited the allotted amount of time. Goodbye.
Yeah, I wondered if Mr. Fry here does some voice work. He has a
nice timbre.
Mm-hmm. Timbre. But interesting question, about our coverage of the betrayal. Should we go in the order of the episode itself, or reverse it and go?
Now, does your memory serve you? Do you remember I brought this up to you?
No.
I don't contribute many ideas to this podcast, but that was one thing I thought of a while back, and I said, can we please do the betrayal in reverse and do it backwards? You don't remember that?
I don't remember that. So we would start with...
It's like I'm talking to my Aunt Sylvia
here. Jerry meeting Kessler?
No. He's asking for, I think, the format of our show and how are we going to talk about the episode. So we talk about, I feel like it's give it away. We should do our, sign off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First,
Okay.
And then do our ratings and reviews, and then do the show, and then the beginning of the show is the end of the show is our intro.
Okay, so I was thinking just the show discussion, not literally Seincast. I'm sorry.
Can we get a new actor in here?
I know in the DVDs for season 9 there is a feature to watch the betrayal in reverse. And man,
you mean in frontwards?
Chronologically.
In real time.
Shut up. And it's terrible, man. Like,
yeah,
the betrayal does not work in the normal order. You have to watch it backwards.
It betrays us as an audience.
Mm-hmm. But going back to your point and Mr. Fry's point, I think that would be, an excellent idea. And hopefully any listeners that aren't hearing this discussion will be surprised when they when they hear the episode.
Can we do it both ways? Can we do a frontwards version and a backwards version and let people choose?
But where do you how much is doing it in reverse? Like,
I got it. I have it all up here. I got you.
Okay, we won't spoil it for our listeners then. Let's cut over to the calzone here. We have an email from Joseph Gallo and Bill R. This I really enjoyed. Do you remember when Steinbrenner's on the phone, he's having lunch with George, and I think they're talking about, who knows, but he's like, "Hold it, Watson. You like the Lost and Found, George?"
Yeah.
Watson, we're like, who's this Watson guy? This is a reference to Bob Watson, who was the general manager of the Yankees during the time the episode aired. And rumor has it that he resigned after the 97 series because he couldn't take, the ridicule and second guessing from Steinbrenner. And he was replaced, Bob Watson, by Brian Cashman. And Cashman is still the GM of the Yankees today.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even think that would be he's talking to a real life counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we got some real sports nut, huh?
And then we have the topic of tipping in the calzone, which is a great topic. I think we had a lot of fun talking about this. Listener Jacob Zoller wrote in saying, I was listening to the calzone and wanted to let you know I waited tables for years and would sometimes do the to-go orders. On those nights, all I did was to-go, meaning all my money for the evening came from those tips. And I did have to work hard, entering the order, retrieve and deliver it while running payment back and forth and juggling multiple orders in different stages. It was definitely tip-worthy work, though also definitely not the same as taking care of a table for 45 minutes inside the restaurant. I was always bummed when people stiffed me or left like $1. 10%, which is where we landed, seemed fair. I also got the occasional 20% tips, which seemed excessive.
So it seems like 15 is the real sweet spot.
Sounds like it, yeah. Liz and I did a lot of eating in L.A., and we would order at the counter, and then they would bring it to us. And you'd have to get up for refills and stuff like that. And I was kind of stuck on that, too, because...
It's like they're like those self-checkout machines at the grocery store. You're doing like half the work.
Right. So I did 15 on those.
Do you tip yourself? Did you give money to Liz?
Yeah, here you go. All right, another email here from Michael Jones, one of our longtime listeners. Here's a question for us. What do you tip at a buffet?
Sounds like a bit.
Yeah. He's good. I like Michael. I eat Indian quite a bit and go to the lunch buffet. Hey, we were just talking about this.
I went yesterday to
Yeah.
Indian buffet. I'm stuffed still.
But I'm the one grabbing my own plate, putting food on the plate. All the waiter's doing is pouring me a drink. Well, he takes away my old plate. But I have to go get a new one if I want more food. So how much am I tipping this guy for pouring a drink and picking up a dirty plate?
Mike, I think you got something there. This is a material you could do. I actually went to an Indian restaurant yesterday, a buffet, and it was fantastic. They like watch you like Babu, like a hawk, to refill that water. As soon as you take a sip, they fill it back up, which I love. They did bring us out naan, so that's something you can add to the tip. And I feel like the service, at least at this place that I go, they're so friendly and so attentive that I gave 20% for my tip.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those guys all have to split it among each other. So
Right.
like 20's fair.
I'll tell you too, if the meal itself is really inexpensive, I'll always do 20%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I never feel good, like, if it's $10, I don't want to leave a $2 tip. So
then you seem like a cheapskate.
Right, so I'll leave, like, $5.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move over to... Oh, we're still on the calzone here, but in Paisanos, we had trouble with some of the Italian there. And two of our listeners wrote in, Carlo Della Grata and listener Joseph Gravelli. They sound Italian, right?
Yeah, they're Paisanos.
They had trouble hearing, I think, some of the dialogue since it's off screen, but it's pretty much the uncle or whatever off screen says, Antonio, come here. And then Antonio says something like, I'm here. And then he says, wait. And that's when he goes back to yell at George.
But I love the, si, vi qua, questo.
And then later he says to Kramer, va via, which is go away. Like, get out of here.
Okay.
Also, Joseph I'm sorry, I'm reading the email. Joseph also added, like my paisano Vinny, I too was raised Italian. Both my parents are from Sicily. Sadly, I'm not fluent in Italian, but I do understand a lot of it.
With great shame.
Mm-hmm.
Can you recall the other instance where Italian is uttered in Seinfeld?
That would be in the doll, right?
I'm thinking of a third.
Oh. Well, what's your third?
I'm asking.
Oh.
What other Italian characters have graced?
Oh, the Poppy or his...
No.
Or what is it?
Enzo Marginera.
Oh, right.
The barber. He wants revenge.
Well, Joseph also added in the doll when Frank goes to confront his cousin, or Giuseppe, we kept saying, what is he saying? Gazpacho, eh?
I think you said gazpacho. Because he's a damn fool.
He was saying que pazzo, which is you crazy.
Que pasa, eh?
Yeah, we might have brought that up before. Yeah. All right,
Gazpacho, por favor.
I'm part Spanish. All right, we've got a voicemail here from listener Aaron relating to the calzone.
Hey, Matt, and hey, Vinny. This is Aaron calling from Atlanta, Georgia. Matt, you might remember me. I actually met you at the Seincast trivia night back in December. It was really cool meeting you. Vinny, you were in, Del Boca Vista, something like that? Whatever. So I wanted to bring something up that I noticed in the latest podcast episode on the calzone when we were talking about bands. First of all, they were banned from Joe's Fruit Stand, Jerry and Kramer. But also, I picked up on Vinny saying Larry was banned from an auto mechanic, but we'll get there, ... So, am I to understand that Vinny is coming around with the Curbcast idea? I don't know, just a little hint that I picked up there. All right, guys, take care. Bye.
Ooh.
Vinny?
Why'd you play this voicemail? I'm warming up to it. I have conditions, and I want to do it in the same way Larry does Curb. So I want carte blanche from you. If I want to take a season off, I take a season off. If I want to take 5 years off, I'll come back when I'm good and ready, when I have enough material. So those are my stipulations for doing a Curb cast.
Would it surprise you that we got 14 voicemails about that comment? Curbcast?
Are you serious?
I'm serious, yeah.
Wow.
I just decided to play Aaron's. So many people are like, yeah, Vinny's like, we'll talk about it at another date. What does that mean? So people want it, man.
Okay. Well, I actually just I've been rewatching Curb and I've been loving it, and I'm like, oh, and I'm picking up things that I'm really enjoying. Correlations to Seinfeld, and in the same way that Jerry says I'm banned, Larry says that in his episode, his respective episode in Curb.
Oh, nice.
So I love that because you can really see where Larry left his mark on Seinfeld.
Nice.
Having said that, we'll see.
So that's sort of like a half commitment.
I'm a toes in the water. I'll probably come around, but it's just,
Well, I think we need to do something for season 9 of Curb, and
But then we're doing it out of order. We're doing a betrayal of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't like that.
Well, but it's
and we're not rushing to churn out a bunch of crap drivel just to make it to the deadline for when Curb comes out.
Right.
I mean, season 9.
That's the thing nowadays.
Because I want to take my time with season 7. I want to, because that's the Seinfeld year.
That's like the thing nowadays, though, to do this.
Current
like you have your recaps, and then you also have, you have your podcast recaps, where it's like, we have to talk about this episode that just aired, and just, I don't know.
But then those who are going to be watching Curb for the first time are going to be refreshing. They're not going to know what the hell's going on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could do like a little, 5-minute review at like the top of a Seincast episode. Like once Curb comes back. I don't know.
If I want to do it, I want to do it right.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
I just twist tomorrow.
I don't know. Maybe we could do like a little, hey, did you see Curb last night? Yeah, me too. All right.
Did you notice this? Did you notice that?
On to this week's episode. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll discuss.
All right. Let's move over to the bottle deposit. Listener Mike Denovi sent in some great info here that we weren't able to figure out from that screenshot of Newman's VHS tapes. There were 2 movies we couldn't figure out, and he wanted to let us know. One is Wide Sargasso Sea, and the other one is Volaire.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So
are those foreign films?
Yeah, I've never heard of them, but I'm glad we have this on the record.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Thanks to Mike. We have another email here from listener Michael Jones. He made a great connection between the bottle deposit crime scene and the Smog Strangler celebrating in The Trip. By that I mean, like the lady comes in and she's like, "Is it Midnight Blue?" Mm-hmm. And Jerry and Elaine are like, "It's a turbo."
Elaine.
Yeah, and then in The Trip, you have them dancing when the victim's
Murderer
family
struck again.
Yeah.
They're celebrating at the misfortune of others.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, definitely a connection.
Great. All right, let's move over to another voicemail here from another Andrew. We have a lot of Andrews out there.
Drew.
Hey Matt, hey Vinny, hope both of you are well. It is a real treat to listen along with you guys every week. Thank you so much for the great content. As far as favorite, least favorite goes, I'm going to start with least favorite first. The invitations, and more specifically, any episode involving Susan from season 7, throws me immediately in the doghouse and gets me in trouble. As a bald guy, I tend to relate very heavily with George Costanza, and there are some story arcs that I do very much relate to. Conversely, my fiance does not feel the same way about Susan and really doesn't like how that character is treated in the invitations ultimately. On the flip side, my favorite would definitely be the Rye from season 7. One point, my parents brought a loaf to my soon-to-be in-laws. Needless to say, they did not get the joke, even after showing them some clips on YouTube. We did take it back to try to, get some laugh out of them, but nobody noticed or ever mentioned anything. However, I do have 2 questions today that I would love to hear your input on. The first is a question about Bottle Deposit Part 2. Specifically, the Newman scenes at Rance Howard's house. When I saw this, it always reminded me of your typical farmer's daughter tropes I think that we have from pop culture. I don't know necessarily where this originated, but I know one of my favorite playing uses of this trope is in a song called Motorcycle Nightmare by Bob Dylan off his album Another Side of Bob Dylan from 1965. It's one of my favorite songs, so when I was listening along to you guys do your wrap-up of episode 2, this did cross my mind. So I want to read a few stanzas, kind of showcase what this song kind of talks about, and wanted to know from you both if you think this episode may have drawn any influence from this song. So the stanza, I pounded on a farmhouse looking for a place to stay. I was mighty, mighty tired. I'd come a long, long way. I said, hey, hey in there, is there anybody home? I was standing on the steps, feeling most alone. Well, out comes a farmer. He must have thought that I was nuts. He immediately looked at me and stuck a gun into my guts. Then out comes his daughter, whose name was Rita. She looked like she stepped right out, La Dolce Vita. I immediately tried to cool it with her dad and told him what a nice, pretty farm he had. Then he goes on. He says, I said yes 10,000 miles today I drove. He said, I got a bed for you underneath the stove. Just one condition, you can go to sleep right now, that you don't touch my daughter and in the morning milk a cow. He goes on when he finishes the song, well, he threw Reader's Digest at my head and I did run. I did a somersault as I seen him get his gun and crashed through the window at 100 miles an hour and landed fully blast in his garden flowers. Rita said come back as he started to load. The sun was coming up and I was running down the road. If her name was Rita in the show, I would think it would be an obvious reference, but I don't think it's that obvious and wanted to know what you guys had to say. Last question, I don't know if we've heard yet Matt's thoughts on Rogue One, if he liked it, if he hated it, if he thinks it fits in well, what he thinks about the future of the Star Wars anthology films. I know it's not necessarily related, but I always like asking you guys these questions. Thank you so much for the great content. I really do appreciate it every week when it comes up on my app. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your week.
What a nice, thoughtful individual.
Yeah, it was great voicemail, and I can't tell you how much I love that Bob Dylan theory.
I don't know. There's no mention of mailbags being heavy or strong cider, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I mean, on one hand, that farmhouse and the farmer's daughter, it is sort of like a cliche, like a trope, but
it is a trope for a reason. But damn, it's almost like a missed opportunity by the writers. It would have been a great tie-in, if any of the writers were Bob Dylan fans, to name the daughter Rita. We've already got Susies on the show.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Name her Rita.
The one I had the biggest kick out of was the help me milking the cow, and I was thinking about Bessie. Just it's all there, like if you want it to be, but. I think it's a great theory. Like maybe someone either like was aware of the song or, it was in the back of their head when they were conceiving of that Numenarch. But I guess you could really go either way. Great research there, though.
Yeah, excellent.
That last question, though, of course, my ears perk up when I hear Star Wars mentioned. So you saw Rogue One too, right?
I did.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I remember leaving the theater being like, because it was such a dark movie, a lot of the tone was dark, everything was grim, nothing really worked out for the characters. My biggest thing, and I think maybe I was swayed by the reviews I listened to, was that you only had 2 hours to get to know these characters, and I feel like they didn't really establish them to the point where I cared about them. I'm like, why do I care about this Jyn Erso? I mean, I know she had issues with her dad and being taken away. But when I think of Rey and Finn and Poe, I'm like, man, I care about all three of these people, yet I didn't care about any of the characters in Rogue One. But I still love the retro look. I loved all the Darth Vader stuff. But if you're asking me which one do I prefer, I definitely prefer Force Awakens to Rogue One.
Right.
That's happy, uplifting. Again, it's Disney, and but it's starting off this new trilogy. But I loved Force Awakens so much so that I saw it 3 times in theaters.
Oh wow!
I only saw Rogue One once, and I haven't bought it yet. Whereas I bought Force Awakens the day it came out. So there's my take.
I was most impressed, honestly, by the production design. It might not feel like a Star Wars movie, but it looked the most like the original Star Wars than any other Star Wars movie to come out. The production value, I thought, was just, in the design, was just insane. They really nailed it. And the movie was kind of plagued by reshoot issues, and I don't really want to spoil it because I'm sure there's a lot of people who haven't seen it yet, but originally the writers conceived of an ending that they thought would make Disney happy, and when they filmed that all, Disney was like, no, I think you need to go back to your original idea. And that's what they reshot. So it's not like the story was bad originally. They just, kind of filmed this different ending. And by changing the ending, you kind of need to change the road to get there. So I think it was a big overhaul. I think half the movie was reshot at least. Wow. So I wonder, through that process, if you kind of lost that those special moments that helped bring these characters together. Maybe there wasn't enough time to really figure out how to make this feel like a more tight-knit group, because I also felt that way too. I didn't really connect with anyone.
I remember listening to the Slash Film review, and Forrest Whitaker's character, they're like, that guy didn't even need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out, and he's hardly in the movie. You see him more in the trailer, I think. So maybe they cut a lot of his stuff out.
Right.
But they're like, he didn't even need to be there.
Yeah, so
I was like, yeah.
I'm hoping if they release the original script or treatment for the first cut, like maybe his character makes a little bit more sense, or at least...
do you think they'd ever... probably not, but do you think they'd ever release like the original intended cut, or would they only stick with...
This is the second...
Disney wouldn't do that.
This is the second time that Disney isn't, and I'm talking about The Force Awakens being the first, where Disney is really like protective of behind the scenes information.
Yeah.
Like there's a making of The Force Awakens that was put together by J.W. Rinzler, who worked for Lucasfilm for a time, and he did all of the making of books for the prequels, for the original trilogies, which are incredible. They're these like huge coffee table books, really thick, and they go through everything. And if you think about it, 40 years have gone by. He has access to a lot of that information. No one's really protective of it. But right now, I feel like Disney doesn't really want people to see how the sausage is made.
Exactly, yeah.
They're just a little too protective. So his book on The Force Awakens got scrapped because they didn't want... I think a lot of it also has to do with Harrison Ford's injury.
Oh, right.
When he broke his leg, because I think there's some lawsuits pending, and you don't really want to, put out info if you're going through a lawsuit like that. So
maybe his making of book would have been more popular if it was published under its original title, The Force Awakens,
or Star Wars. What is it good for? But yeah, real quick, getting back to Rogue One, I liked it. I bought it on Blu-ray. I haven't watched it yet, but I would like to revisit it maybe in the coming months. I was just more impressed at how natural this kind of fit into the original trilogy. It looks like the original trilogy, and I really enjoyed that. But as far as anthology films go, I'm more curious about the Han Solo movie, because those are iconic characters that they're recasting, like Han, Lando, and now you've got Woody Harrelson in the mix, and it's what's... Oh, really? I'm like, Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie just doesn't seem...
Yeah,
right, it's like
you might see the actor more than the character, which I worry about.
Right. So that will be a real interesting movie. But did you see the new trailer though for The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I liked it. Yeah. Likes it a lot. It does have that it has a lot of dark colors and reds, and it's in darkness a lot. But it looks good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. We should get together for that, because we didn't get to see Rogue One. But
let's do it.
Well, we're done talking about the individual episodes. We do have a few random questions here before we wrap up. First one comes from a voicemail. This is Vanessa.
Prognosis negative. Hey, Matt and Vinny. This is Vanessa calling from Southern California. I've been listening for a couple of months, and I'm up to episode 115. So hopefully I will catch up to you guys here during season 7. My question for you guys is, if you had to come up with a synopsis for one of the fake movies listed in the show, what would it be? Really enjoying listening to you guys. Thanks so much, and keep up all the good work. Bye.
Whenever I hear somebody, name of one of the listeners writing in or calling in, I have to associate that name with the Seinfeld character on the show. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of...
Oh, yeah, the original.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm... the original. So, anyway. You're the writer out of the two of us, so I'll let you field this one to start.
I'm no writer. What are you talking about?
Right, boy.
I don't know. I like the idea of... my favorite movie is Sack Lunch. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea of the family in the bag. Is it a giant bag, or do they get shrunk down?
It's like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot.
Who's the writer now? That's what I think it is. Like, I like the idea of like an entire family being shrunk down, and they have to
Moranis
try to...
is in it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's bald and he wears glasses, and Jason Alexander's also in it.
Right, and they have to
brothers
basically, figure out like how to get big again. But I'm always thinking of the posters that someone created. They did a great job. Every fake movie has a poster online with actors today. And I think the cover of Sack Lunch is Jason Bateman and Tina Fey.
Nice.
And that sounds like it could actually happen, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Might be in production already.
Yeah. But we heard from David Mendel that the plotline for the Channel is that the president's daughter is in the Channel, which is a great theory. Now, what about Prognosis Negative? That was an unpublished Larry David screenplay. Do you remember the premise for that one?
Yeah, I just pulled it up here. Prognosis Negative, about a hypochondriac who goes to the hospital and overhears a doctor informing his ex-girlfriend that she only has a few months to live, so he decides it's safe to make a commitment.
It's horrible.
That's vintage Larry David right there.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll get on board.
Yeah, right on.
I see that as a George storyline for a future episode.
Did you have any favorite fake movie titles from Seinfeld?
I always forget because there's so many. A lot of good ones.
Well, we know Firestorm involved Harrison Ford falling out of a plane, firing back at it.
I like Death Blow just because it sounds really exciting. But I love Channel, I think, solely because of Larry David telling everybody to get into the Channel.
Or get out of the channel.
Sorry.
Everybody out of the channel. Oh, boy. Let's move over to an email from Brian in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He was just wondering how and why we choose audio clips to use and like which audio clips we don't. I thought that was a great behind-the-scenes question because I don't think we've ever really explained, how we put the show together. But, each week, Vinny, you and I will watch the episode a few times and we'll, take notes on the scene. But in addition to that, I will mark which clips we want to play. And that can be a challenge, too, because when you're watching an episode of Seinfeld and you have to kind of determine which are the best scenes, you sometimes go crazy and you wind up with like 90% of the episode, broken.
All right, let's make it a two-parter.
Yeah, broken down into clips. And it's like, personally, like rule of thumb, I don't like playing more than half the episode. Okay. We also try to have like a good balance of like an Elaine clip, a Kramer clip, a George clip.
Basically, if there's a quote that we really like or something strikes your fancy, you want to make sure that one gets in.
Yeah. And, right. There's some scenes, like, you can look at any episode and you're like, that scene has to be an audio clip. That has to be. Yeah. We try to avoid visual clips, too. Even though they're hilarious.
Right.
There's no point in playing that on the podcast. All right, here we go, Vinny. Last voicemail for the episode here. This is from listener Alex.
Hey, guys. My name's Alex. I'm from Burleson, Texas. I just wanted to say that I love the podcast and enjoy it so much. It's actually the first podcast I ever started listening to, and now it's the only one I still listen to. I noticed you guys got to meet Larry David at some point, so I listened to the episodes out of order because I'm new to the podcast world and I'm a bum. But just want to let you know I actually got to meet Jason Alexander at Bass Hall here in Fort Worth. He came and did a one-man show where he did a lot of musical numbers and kind of told about his life, and absolutely nothing like George Costanza in any way, shape, or form. He is the sweetest, nicest guy. I actually got to meet him when he came out the exit. A few people who knew where that was, he signed some autographs. He was very sweet, very patient. You could tell he had somewhere to be, but he still took the time to smile and sign everybody's programs. But just didn't know until I got to meet him or not. Just if you ever do, he's fantastic. So talented, so talented. Don't want to waste any of y'all's time. Keep up the great work, and much love from Burleson, Fort Worth area. Love you guys. Have a good day.
I've heard the same thing about Jason, that he is so nice, and my buddy Jay, who saw him in Fish in the Dark, said when he came out, he kind of like, got everyone's attention and said, I'm here to, sign autographs. I won't sign anything Seinfeld related. Please have your cameras ready because I want to get a picture with everyone. So he was really good at like just communicating to everyone like his needs and how this should go down. I don't know. I really respect that.
I do too. He even in his interviews, he seems like he's not like a big Hollywood guy, like not a lot of ego. He seems like a regular guy, family, kids. He just happens to be on one of the biggest shows of all time and is an incredibly talented actor. But he doesn't have that ego like other celebrities do. But it's always lovely to hear when somebody from Seinfeld, turns out to be a stand-up person. Mm-hmm. So love that.
Yeah, we honestly, just closing up here, Vinny and I would love to hear your experience any of the listeners out there who have met someone who has either acted on Seinfeld or, worked on Seinfeld. What were they like? How was the experience? Because we honestly haven't met that many people affiliated with the show, really.
It's really, really hard to meet them.
Right. I mean, we've met the occasional actor at like a Brooklyn Cyclones game. Or,
Well, once a year we get to meet one Seinfeld alum.
Yeah.
So that's enough for me.
But we would love to hear from anyone out there who's either, just run into them or seen them perform somewhere and, gotten a chance to talk to them. What's your experience been like? In fact, if you know of anyone who would like to speak with us, who acted on the show or worked on the show, please put us in contact. We would love to talk to them. Vinny, I think that's going to do it for our season 7 recap. I know you're exhausted.
Let's keep going. Just kidding. Let's not.
I see Kramer there on the floor. He's passed out.
He's yawning.
Yeah. But anything else you want to say in closing before we wrap up season 7?
I am sad no more LD, apart from his little appearances as Steinbrenner, and then the finale we'll get. So I'm kind of sad that I can't say, oh, that's vintage Larry David. I can't say that anymore. But still got some quality episodes to discuss in the next 2 seasons.
For sure. I'm really looking forward to talking about season 8. We'll be back with what episode exactly?
We will be discussing the first episode of season 8, The Foundation. And we'll be discussing about Susan. May she rest in peace.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Goodbye.